This is CA Kartik Pandit here, and I'm making this video specially for aspiring chartered accountants who have to start their career by joining a CA firm for their articleship period of 3 years. This presentation will help anybody who has to appear for an interview, for a physical interview with a CA firm. It is a statement of fact that about 100,000 candidates are registered every year for the foundation course. And every candidate who wants to join articles in a known firm would have to go to an interview, at least 1 or 2 interviews, to join a firm of his choice and be selected in the firm of his choice. So therefore, this video, this presentation has a potential of helping 100,000 students every year. It is noticed in my long career and after taking many interviews for articles and others, that currently the trend of students joining for articles is more from town B and town C as compared to from metros. This will help especially students coming and appearing for interview in big cities like Bombay or Delhi or Chennai for interview in the firm of their choice. This is meant for physical interview. I'll come out with another video for online interviews. I would think that when a student is giving 3 years of his career for learning by joining a CA firm, by doing his articles, he should be able to join the firm of his choice. And to do that, he needs to have skills to be selected in the firm of his choice. If he has to go to 2-3 firms for an interview, this will help him crack the interview at a firm of his choice in the best of his career and learn the maximum that he can. So I wish you all the luck, students, to crack your interview. So do watch till the end, do subscribe, do share it with your friends. And should you have any questions or require more tips, feel free to write in the comment box and I shall be happy to answer to them. I wish you all the best in choosing the firm of your choice and come out with flying colors.
Hello friends, this is CA Kartik Pandit here, and this presentation is for articles who want to appear for an interview, a physical interview for selecting a CA firm where they can register themselves. So, how to appear for a physical interview for an articleship. And as I said, for an online interview, tips await for a separate video. So these are some tips for fresh graduates, article clerk position in a good CA firm. Take these tips, crack your interview, join the firm of your choice. For appearing for an interview, you should have a clear thinking. You need to understand the role that you are expected to play. It is noticed, as I've said in my introduction, that currently for about 100,000 students who are registering every year for a foundation course, a maximum number of students tend to come from town B and town C to town A, like Bombay, metro cities like Bombay and Delhi and Calcutta, Chennai. So you need to familiarize yourself with the responsibilities and expectation of an article in a large city under the CA ICA regulations. The requirement of large firms, mid-sized firms and small firms are different. So depending upon the firm that you are appearing for an interview, you need to understand the role that you will be expected to play in the size of the firm that you are choosing to join. Research the different areas of work such as auditing, taxation, accounting, financial management. If you already made up your mind, if you want to go and practice and therefore want to practice in taxation, maybe you want to join a firm which specializes in tax, which has more work in tax. So you need to understand the role that you need to play post your qualification, and based on that you need to choose your firm. Highlight the academic achievements. Typically a firm would ask you to send your CV, and if you are a good candidate, if you are a student who has scored well in his exams at the board levels and at graduation level or at pre-undergraduate level, showcase your academic performance and your work. If you're good at extracurricular activities, do showcase that. Highlight any distinctions, awards, certificates, related accounting and finance work that you have done, or the non-academic qualifications, experience, awards that you have won. That you should include in your CV. Present your best self. Mind you, since you already sent your CV, it is important that you do your best. Those 5 minutes or 10 minutes interview that you have with a senior person, maybe a partner or maybe an HR manager of the firm, showcase your best self, present your best self. And these are the tips to present your best self. Showcase your skills, emphasize your proficiency in analytical thinking, problem solving, and attention to detail. Mind you, college is different than a CA firm. Auditor is supposed to know in detail, has to look in detail, has to look with microscopic view on whatever work is assigned to him. So if emphasize your proficiency in analytical thinking, problem solving, and attention to detail. Very important. That's what an auditor is supposed to be. Highlight your ability to work well in a team. Mind you, any audit, especially for a mid-sized firm or a large-sized firm, would be done by a team of people at various levels, fresh articles, senior articles, managers, directors, partners. It is important that you are able to showcase that you are a team player and that you are able to effectively communicate. I have already put up another presentation on effective communication. Maybe you want to have a look at that. Approach. Demonstrate eagerness to learn. These 3 years are very critical. This is the foundation that will help you in your career. Therefore, your approach to the subject, your approach in doing any work should be very well demonstrated. You should express your enthusiasm for gaining practical experience. Articleship is all about practical experience. It's not about your theoretical knowledge that you may learn through your books. It's about your practical experience. You should come out with a very positive approach, with positive body enthusiasm language by which you convey that you are interested to join and get that practical experience. Also discuss that you would be ready to take challenges, and what are those challenges? Different companies, travel, extra work, long hours is all that you should try and emphasize if a question is being asked. Knowledge about CA regulations. It is a good idea to do a little check, do a fresh check on understanding the Chartered Accountant's Code of Ethics and your familiarity with guidance for audit. It would be a good idea to go through those guidelines should a question be asked, because you are expected to have those ethics duly demonstrated when you are in front of a client. Mind you, you are the ambassador of the firm that chooses you when you go for an audit, especially for a mid or large size firm. The firm would want you to ensure that you are a good ambassador and you carry good impression and, and flag of the firm that you represent in your audit. Homework. Research the CA firm. It is absolutely necessary and essential that you gather as much information as you can about the firm that you applied for. Don't just walk into a firm for the sake of appearing for an interview. Do a research. Practically every firm has its own website. Do a research. Check with your friends. Understand the firm's work culture and values to align to your, and you respond accordingly. Every firm has a goodwill in the market and has some ethical standards and has some values. It may be in your interest to check out through whichever sources you can, and the sources are the website and your friends and maybe the auditees. If you know some auditee, maybe it's a good idea to check with the auditee about the values that the firm has. Update your CV. In your hurry and bury to apply, try and customize your CV for each firm. I would strongly recommend not to have a standard CV which you just dish out, email to various firms. Try and make something, your CV, in such a way that it meets the requirement of the firm. And that would be possible when you customize your CV for each firm. No standard mailers. It is said that a person's interview selection is made in the first 10 to 15 seconds. And let me explain this. Even if you're a fresher like you, who's an undergraduate or a graduate, your CV is already with the person who's taking your interview. So he knows quite a few things about you. He wants to know something which is not there in the CV, which is there based on your approach, based on your attitude, based on your knowledge, based on your inquisitiveness, based on your presentableness. And what is that? Be punctual and dress professionally. You're no longer a student in college now. You're no longer expected to dress like what you dress in college. You're expected to dress like a future chartered accountant. Arrive early for the interview, demonstrate punctuality, dress appropriately in formals. And what is formals? Light shirt, dark pant, well dressed, well combed, in time, no jeans, polished shoes. Some of the tips to make yourself presentable. Tips to crack the interview: prepare for common questions. Anticipate common interview questions related to your strength, your weakness, your career goals. Should you speak about your weakness? Well, honesty is the best policy. Generally, a question is asked: what are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? It's easy to speak about strengths, but be honest to admit and speak about your weaknesses and show that you are aware of your weakness, and you're making effort to overcome those weaknesses. Practice your response to ensure clarity, conciseness, and confidence. Confidence goes a long way. So if you anticipated a question, in your mind, be ready for the answers. If you're ready and if you have rehearsed those answers, you would be able to talk confidently. So, for a moment, do a role reversal. Imagine that you are taking an interview of a candidate and what questions you would ask. And since you would know the questions, keep the answers ready. Show that you have prepared yourself. Show that you have come prepared. There is no 99. Give it your best. Give it your 100%. Ask thoughtful questions. Prepare a lot of thoughtful questions about the firm's culture, training programs, growth opportunities, and the role of articles. Now, where can you get those questions? Those questions would be based on your research. Research, as I said earlier, on the website of the firm, by talking to some friends you already know in the firm, or the auditees. Show your interest in the firm's values. A firm would typically mention its values and its mission and its ethics. Read them, digest them, have some questions about them. Very, in a very sincere and honest and maybe a humble way, try to ask about those ethics and values about the firm. Show that you would want to blend with with those ethics and those values, and that those values have a lot of importance in you, and you would want to imbibe them to be a chartered accountant with those kinds of values. So, friends, hope these tips would help you to crack an interview. It is very important that when you have to go through maybe a couple of interviews to join a firm of your choice, you are able to crack the interview at a firm of your choice. I hope and I wish that these tips would help you crack the interview. Make a good first impression. As they say, first impression is the lasting impression. And once you join the firm, already a reputation has been noted based on your interview. It will help you in the 3 years that you are there to learn, gain experience, and become a successful chartered accountant. Mind you, It's not only the qualifications that makes a successful chartered accountant. It's all the learning, the practical experience that makes a chartered accountant of what he is. We have a huge reputation to maintain. We have a huge perspective to maintain with our clients, with our auditees, and this is the first step. I wish you best of luck in your first step. May all the future steps be as successful and as rewarding. All the best.